Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have some really exciting news actually. It was revealed that Season 10 has started airing actually a week ago, last Friday, on a New Zealand site. So it has started airing there, and it was only discovered today. And it was put on YouTube by the amazing DP Videos NL. So huge shout out to him, and of course all the images in this video are from his channel. So yeah, credit to DP Videos NL. But anyways, so I'm going to stick with the same episode review format that I did for Season 9. Pretty much, I will take a brief look at the plot of the episode and just go over that. And then I'll talk about my pros, cons, and come up with a final score for the episode. So yeah, with all of that being said, let's get started. The episode starts off with Lloyd visiting Garmadon, and Garmadon is in a pretty big and pretty, secured facility in Cryptarium Prison. And I thought the scene was pretty cool, actually, where Lloyd does talk to Garmadon a bit. And yeah, I thought that scene was done really well. And I think the intro is really different for the season, showing the murals. I'll make a video with my thoughts on that later, but just to sum it up, I think the new intro is good for the most part, but I do like other intros more. I do like the Season 9 intro more. Anyways, we then cut to a scene in which Pixel, Zane, and Cole are in the Earth Driller. So it's nice to see the Earth Driller here, because we did have confirmation that the Earth Driller was rebuilt from the Legacy minisodes. So that was fun to see it here. I thought that scene was really funny with Cole and his foot falling asleep and them just jumping around. And I also want to point out a reference to Season 8. That little kid who actually Harumi saved, and multiple times in Season 8, he missed the ninja due to his technology addiction. But anyways, they do come to this ceremony where it's revealed that the people have rebuilt the bounty, and Rufus McAllister was the one who got the blueprints. And I thought that was a nice reference to back in the day when he was really obsessed with the ninja. Anyways, then we see that part from the SDCC footage in which Jay is practicing a proposal with Kai and Dareth, sadly. And anyways, when Nia does come, we get an explanation for her new kimono or new dress. So that was pretty cool. And then out of nowhere, Faith and Firstborn come crashing down. So I'll talk about that a bit later. Yeah, that just comes out of nowhere. And so they help Faith, and yeah, Faith's unconscious, and she just says that the Oni are coming. So they go to Ninjago City, and by that point, the Oni have actually already come. And they came out of the Realm Crystal, which is in Borg Tower now. We see Borg briefly. And anyways, the police commissioner attempts to fight the Oni, but of course, he's just the police, so he's vastly outnumbered. The ninja come, but they are unable to do anything for the most part as well. So they are forced to flee, but Cole is grabbed by the Oni a bit, but he is rescued, and he says he saw someone in there. Anyways, the ninja eventually evacuate other people and return back to the bounty, and at the end of the episode, they do free Garmadon, as he is supposedly the only way that they will be able to combat the Oni. So now I wanted to talk about some of the things that I did enjoy about this episode. I thought the episode name, The Darkness Comes, was a pretty appropriate name, and I liked that. I really liked Garmadon's role in this episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing Garmadon back. I thought his performance in this episode was really good, and the scenes with him were also done really well. I like the foreshadowing for Garmadon's role in the future. Of course, we know that he will be against the ninja, unless it is that Oni imposter that I've talked about a few times. But anyways, I do really like the setup that they've done with Garmadon's character, as well as some of the foreshadowing that they did with Cole. Of course, Cole's gonna fall off the bounty, and they did some foreshadowing with that as he was almost dragged into the Oni cloud. So I like that foreshadowing. And again, this episode had a lot of references and throwbacks to past seasons, including the kid who Harumi saved and the Tornado of Creation, and just a lot of other references out there. And I thought that was really well done, and I really liked what they did with this, including all these references to past seasons, as well as some more recent references, like Season 8 with the police commissioner painting his boat. I thought that was cool. I liked seeing the police commissioner back as well, and that was done well too. And the Oni attack also was done pretty well, and how they came out of the Realm Crystal. It was also explained well as to why the Realm Crystal had been moved and where it had been moved to. And I thought the introduction of the Oni was done pretty well for the most part in this episode. I also think the explanation for the bounty returning was good. It was a good explanation, but yeah, the bounty itself returning, it wasn't the best thing. However, I did have some problems with this episode as well. I thought the bounty returning it just wasn't good, and I feel like they could have used this opportunity to bring in a new base or something new. And I think this was kind of a missed opportunity to bring the bounty back. Like I said, it was explained well, but I feel like they did miss an opportunity here. I also think the return of Firstborn and Faith was kind of unnecessary. I mean, I don't know, it just was not focused on enough. It just happened, and that's all. It was too random. They just returned, and that was all that was done, really. They were just seen for, I don't know, less than a minute, and then they moved on to the next thing. And I also felt like the Jay and Nia arc did not really have a place in this episode, and I'm quite concerned that it won't have a place in this season at all, and it's just in there for no reason. I'm quite concerned as to how the arc will play out and how it'll be incorporated into the season. It's quite a small season, and the Oni plot seems to be front and center already. And yeah, I thought the Oni attack for the most part was good, but I would have liked to see the ninja evacuating the citizens as well. I don't really like that they just left that part out, and that would have been cool to see as well. You know, I feel like some of the stuff in this episode was rushed, and some of the stuff was skipped over, and I do hope that the rest of the season isn't like this. And of course, Dareth. Dareth is still as annoying as he was in Season 9, and it's really getting on my nerves at this point. I really hated Dareth through Season 9, and it kind of seems like this is continuing into Season 10, or at least this first episode, and that's really a bad thing, honestly. So for my rating process, I take a look at 4 categories: the plot, the characters, the action, and the emotion. So we'll take a look at the plot of this episode first. I thought for the most part the plot was really well done, even though I did find the cameo for Faith and Firstborn to be a bit out of place. I thought when we're talking about what role it played in the plot, I thought it was a pretty good inciting event, and I thought that it did work well in that sense, but only in that sense. Now, I do think they should have showed the ninja evacuating citizens, but I think this episode was really good in terms of plot. It wasted no time in introducing the villain, and it did set up Garmadon as well. So I would have to give the plot definitely a full, 5 out of 5. Now, moving on to the characters, I thought the characters were actually really well done as well. So I did think that there were definitely, I really liked the police commissioner in this episode. He was pretty funny, and I liked him returning. Garmadon was also really cool, but he did act a bit weird towards the beginning of the episode, if you do know what I mean. But by the end, I think Garmadon was definitely really cool, and there was definitely some foreshadowing for him. And all the ninja, as well as Wu, were really fun to see. It was fun to see them returning as well. So I would give characters a 4 out of 5. Now, moving on to action. So there was some action in this episode, but there wasn't that much, I suppose. I mean, it was just the Oni, but the fights, there weren't really any fights. The ninja tried to fight the Oni, but other than that, that didn't really go too far. So there wasn't too much in terms of action, but, there was definitely a lot of plot unfolding, but not that much action necessarily, because, not much really happened. But, of course, there was Cole. He almost got captured by the Oni. So action, I'd also have to give that maybe a 4 out of 5. And then lastly, emotion. Not too much emotion in this episode, but there was definitely a lot of humor in the beginning of the episode, where Cole, Pixel, and Zane are going to the ceremony, of course. There was definitely quite a bit of, emotion, and there was quite a bit of humor in that scene as well. So I thought that was done pretty well. And, I mean, other than that, there wasn't any strong emotion or anything. So again, emotion, I would have to give a 4 out of 5. Now, my final rating of this episode would probably be a 7.5 out of 10. I thought the episode was well done for the most part, and it was a good episode, but it wasn't great. There were some flaws, and I do think that some stuff was, just brushed over a bit too quickly, such as Firstborn and Fate's return, and also the ninja evacuating. I feel like some of the stuff was brushed over quickly, but I do have faith, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode. And the next episode is coming out Friday, and after that we are on a weekly basis with episodes coming out every week. So I'm really looking forward for the next episode, and I will post a predictions video on that. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching this. If you enjoyed my episode review, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone you know, and if you've watched episode 95, be sure to comment what you think of episode 95. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.